From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey, y'all, it's Caroline Gant.
Hey, y'all, Austin Lowen.
And Tyler Blankenship.
Yes, we're all here. Yes, we're all ready for summer, I guess. Are we?
Yeah.
I'm always ready for summer.
Are you?
I'm a summertime baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been milder than many years. There has been a lot less suffering around here because it's just been cooler and, generally tolerable.
We'll be suffering soon enough.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, why did I say that on the podcast? And it's set in stone now.
Yep.
You're all hearing
Just
me
look
say
back
that.
at the episode where we're all happy as clams. Before
It's starting to change, though.
I say in 2 weeks, we're going to be like, it's so hot today.
I mean, it's kind of hot today. I'm out there cooking a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's the humidity here that just
It's a good point.
makes it seem so, smoldering.
Yes. No, you're right. Yesterday, we all had the day off, and we had a really nice rainstorm for, I don't know, right close to 2 hours or so, I'd say. It was kind of stormy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice, but I got some stuff done before the rain happened, so I was very proud of myself.
I'm proud of you.
But now I'm sore. Real sore.
Because what were you doing?
Bending over, tending to them tomatoes. Yep, that's what I was doing.
Well, something got you bent over, huh?
Them tomatoes did. I got 38 of them. So I bent over that many times, plus however many times I had to get up and back down to do other stuff. Caroline, you're still laughing. What are you laughing about? Yeah, I was bending over a lot, tending to tomatoes, okay?
She tried to hold it together.
Yeah, she's trying, but she can't. It's fine. It wasn't just bent over. I was on my hands and knees a lot. Pruning tomatoes. Caroline's lost it. We've lost her. She's done.
Okay, I'm good. I can rein it back in.
You got any fruit
You
yet?
just got me.
I got some fruit on the cherries. Yeah. You know what I don't have, though? While Caroline's just losing it over here. Just keep it quiet. You can keep losing. Just keep it quiet. You know what I got to say is what I don't have a lot of is leaves on tomatoes. And this is because of me. Okay? I get rid of those leaves. Everybody grows tomatoes, and they keep way too many leaves on the plant, right?
Who says?
I say. Okay? I know this, all
Are
right?
you over there just hands and knees looking at how many leaves are on your tomatoes?
I'm pruning off the lower leaves. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Lower leaves always get all yellow and
just made
spotty
it
and
sound
gross.
like you don't want tomato plants to have leaves on them.
Not as many as they want to have. I limit their leaves. Caroline, you're still going, seriously.
I mean, you
What
got
was
me
even
too,
so
baby.
funny?
You got me so tickled.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
All right, I'm going back on my tomato spiel.
It's all yours. The floor is yours.
All right, there's too many people grow tomatoes with too many leaves. Okay?
I
Prune 'em.
will say I do have a lot. I have a lot of leaves on mine.
It's too many. Prune them
And
when
a lot
they're
of
young.
stems coming out that I need to cut back, so it just has that one main leader going up.
And you don't have to just keep a one main leader system. That's not necessarily what I'm saying.
But
Like
that's
you
what
can
I
keep
want.
yours going up or whatever. I'm just saying when they're young though. Don't let them keep leaves and get damaged like they're going to. They're all going to get yellow at some point. They're going to get buggy. They're going to get fungusy close to the ground. So prune them when they're young, okay? Look, I talked to an old man one time, old tomato farmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's his
He
name?
was like Mr. Kale. When he introduced
Did he grow
himself,
kale?
he said, my name's Mr. Kale. It's like hell, but with a K.
yes.
And I was like, this guy's like the
Mr.
Marlboro man a little
Kale.
bit. He kind of looked like that, had a cool voice.
That's gonna be you one day.
And I see him growing his tomatoes, and he's growing them with fruit all up the stems, but he hardly got any leaves. I mean, literally only leaves at the very tip top of the plant. And I'm talking 5-6 foot plants. And I was like, Mr. Kale, man, why ain't you, why you prune off all the leaves of your tomatoes? He said, son, I don't like the taste of the leaves. And I was like, you just nailed it.
Yes, Mr. Kell.
He doesn't deal with any of those bug problems or fungal issues or nothing because he
just
prunes
takes them.
off every single leaf pretty much except for the few leaves at the very topmost part of the plant. And he does sucker his to a single one stem
Yeah.
system. He is clean.
Is this that? Does he live on Clarksville?
Yep.
We pass him.
You pass him. You know what I'm talking about.
I know where it is.
Mm-hmm. He
I
still
know.
comes in here every once in a while. I see him
Mr.
tending
Kale,
out
I know
there.
your house.
Uh-huh.
I've driven by it twice a day a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's my pro tip for tomatoes so far. Get the leaves out of there.
He doesn't enjoy a nice tomato leaf salad every now and then.
Negative.
You know, I love how tomato leaves smell. You don't.
No, I don't really like the way they
Do
smell.
you, Tyler?
Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
Nah, not into that.
I've seen tomato candles where people capture that smell in a candle.
I can see maybe the fruit, but
I would
no,
know.
the smell
I
of
don't
the
want
leaves.
a tomato fruit candle. I want a tomato leaf candle.
Yes.
Negative.
Tomato fruit is kind of
Positive.
like,
All them tomato leaves are doing is just getting fungusy and they're turning me yellow. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You working tenant in the you know what I'm talking about.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
imagining
do.
you
You get-
yellow with spots all over you.
Yeah,
now.
you get them leaves get
Like,
leafy
you all right?
and
You
look
got
yellow and
jaundice or
spotty,
something?
but then they'll throw that yellow goo on you, whatever that is.
And then you're mad at it.
I am. It
All
gets on
right.
my sweaty arms.
I get that.
All right.
My vegetable bed looks great. But what looks even better is my front landscaped yard.
Yeah, you did some stuff yesterday.
I spent just about all day from sunup to sundown out there weeding, creating not a new bed. It was an existing bed that I tilled up again, moved some plants, and made this beautiful little row of plants. And I love it.
And you used a plant that you've never grown before.
I have never grown it before, and I didn't know much about it. Germander, which is evergreen here. People use it as a boxwood replacement.
Ish.
Austin doesn't like that.
I mean, no, I like it, but
It's like a poor man's boxwood. How about that?
Well, it's like the boxwoods of the herbs.
Okay, I like that. The boxwoods of the herbs.
I mean,
sounds
we sell
great,
it. We
man.
sell it with our herbs, and I don't really know why all that much.
you know,
I mean,
Bridget, if you're a listener, you don't know who that is. Amazing person here that works at the nursery.
You'll never hear her voice.
You'll never hear her. Maybe one day we'll get her on here.
Bridge.
On the no down.
But we were talking about it, and yeah, she was like, I don't know why we only get it back there. She's like, every so often we'll get it in a little 1 gallon.
That's what I figured. I mean, I would assume that would come in a 1 gallon. It seems like a pretty easy plant to grow. And like you said, it is cute. It's very commonly used in knot gardens.
Yeah.
Just little tiny knot gardens. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm excited. I planted, I think, 16 of them paired with creeping thyme.
I'm over here like, what?
I was like, no, not at all. I don't
was
know
like,
what a knot garden
Tyler
is.
can't handle
Gardens
it.
that are not.
Gardens that are not. But it flowers.
Yes.
Stays evergreen. Michelle and Margaret, who also work back in the greenhouse, both grow it, and they love it. They were like, Caroline, you're going to love this
Why
plant.
aren't they hitting the rafters about it then?
I don't know, but I'm going to be. All of Nashville is going to be covered in this plant soon. Everybody listening, get you some. We don't have any more here at the nursery. It's all sold out.
So don't get it
Did
from
you
us.
I
buy
bought
it
it
all?
all. No, there were 2 trays left, but now there's none.
A mystery buyer then.
Somebody came in and got it all.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm very excited. It looks great. I got so much in the ground. Really, in the last 4 days, I have planted a lot.
That's good.
Bunch of hydrangeas. That 9-bark that we featured on the show, the Savannah Sunrise or Sunset, can't really remember. But I got 3 of those. Finally planted those.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Speaking of your hydrangeas, I got my 3 hydrangeas planted yesterday, exactly at the same time as it started raining. It was perfect.
Oh.
I was finished my 3rd hole. It was 3 hydrangeas. I was, punching the earth at the end, literally packing it in, and then the rain dumped on me, and I just hopped the fence and ran to the house. What? It's exactly what happened.
That's a hydrangea rite of passage because my oak leaves were also planted right before a thunderstorm.
Nice. That's the
Although-
way to do it.
Only 2 survived out of 4.
How many did you plant out of 4? Oh.
Yeah.
I have that issue with oak leaves, although this last planting, I only planted 2, but they're both looking great and alive. But
I'm happy for
the
you.
other 2 times I have planted oak leaf hydrangeas, I lost most of them.
Oak leaves are the worst about that when it comes to just randomly dying. And I think it's soil borne a lot of times because it's really odd, it's not just it's too dry, or whatever. It's I don't know. They're just, of the hydrangea species we sell, that seems to be the one that takes the least for even customers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. I love it though.
Yeah. The
I love
blooms,
oak leaf hydrangeas.
the blooms on my stressed one are already turning red, like pink.
Yeah.
And then the one that's fine is white still.
Yeah.
Just fine.
I have 2 Alice in Wonderland that are in a little bit of sun and they're pink. And then my snow sickle that's in almost full shade, gorgeous, pure white. I should have gotten a picture to show you because I think that's the prettiest oak leaf hydrangea.
That is a cool oak leaf.
Their blooms are so big and they just hang.
Yeah.
They dangle.
I do like it. I took the cutest picture on the planet and I showed y'all a few days ago. I'm going to put it and give y'all permission to put it out there.
All right, I will get it out
Y'all
there.
get to see my daughter
Put it on
again.
up in the internet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Baby Penny holding the biggest incredible bloom I have ever seen or ever grown.
It looks fake.
It does look fake. It is massive. And it swallows her. It looks bigger than her.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It looks like you hot glued 3 together.
Yeah. And I didn't, I promise. Maybe I did.
I'm
but-
Did you
trying
get
to-
crafty?
No, I didn't.
I'm trying to give a sense of scale here. It's like the size of a cake, right? Like a 2 or 3 layer cake.
Tyler, there's all different sizes of cakes.
A 12, 14-inch cake,
I mean, it is so big and beautiful and pure
white frosted.
Mm-hmm. It's
Vanilla.
It's cake sized. There
It's
you go.
almost as pretty as the person holding it, but not as quiet.
Nah. Oh, but I also got in a picture. With the picture, I decided to sneak in my mixed container because it's looking good too.
Oh, so were you like, Penny, come on, go stand over here.
Oh, definitely. As
Yeah.
she was walking through the house, I was like, Penny, come on. Need you for a second. She's like, what, Dad? I'm like, come on. You got to hold this bloom up. She's like, okay.
It's like the size of her torso.
Yeah, it's humongous. It's beautiful. Biggest, I mean, really a huge just grove of Incrediballs in general this year. Annabelle's too. Annabelle's are a little bit taller this year. They've loved all this rain. And they're popping off, y'all. It's hydrangea season in Middle Tennessee.
Yes, it is. I
Love
planted
it.
incredible hydrangeas yesterday.
Nice.
I did.
Very good.
And
Austin,
I'm excited.
like when you mentioned mimosa trees on this most recent episode,
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden I'm seeing them everywhere. They're blooming like crazy. And you mentioned water, the rain helping the blooms. That's the same for that tree this year.
Oh, yeah. It seems
Just
like for everything. I mean,
Waves of pink on it this year.
oh, they're everywhere. My brother and I were just talking yesterday. We were together, or 2 days ago, we were talking, and he has a beautiful mimosa tree in his yard. Now, he bought his house, and the mimosa tree was already there. He didn't plant it or anything. It's just a big, old mimosa tree, but it is not like a multi-stem one. It's very much single stem to then its canopy.
Yeah.
So it's calipered up really nice. So it's a fat old, meat log at the bottom, and then it works up to the top. And it's probably every bit of 25 foot. It's a specimen mimosa. And he says that he goes out to it and he looks up whenever it's in bloom, and he says you can see like 15, 20 hummingbirds almost at all times in
man.
that tree.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great, I've always loved that tree. It's been one of my favorites since I was little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is invasive.
Invasively
I
pretty.
love it. Invasively
Yeah.
pretty.
It invades your brain with beauty.
Invade your eyeballs.
It does.
All right, slight change of subject to
Uh-oh.
vegetables again. So my acorn squash plant is struggling.
Really? Mine is doing great. I have all these little acorn
I
squashes coming
really
in.
wish you didn't say that to me
Sorry,
right now.
Tyler. Mine has powdery mildew on it, though.
Oh, okay,
There's
that makes
that.
up for a
Okay,
little bit.
good.
Mine definitely has aphids. The aphids are being supplied by the ants or whatever, like the ants are protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the plant.
They're farming them.
Right, they're farming them. I made a Castile soap solution, sprayed the leaves, gave it a wash down. Not really making much of a difference, so I might have to try doing that again. But one other thing that's happening is the actual fruit that's starting to flower or fruit on it, whatever, bud. It's turning brown and falling off.
Oh.
And so I don't know if this is like the aphid damage catching up with that, because I thought maybe it's blossom end rot, and I added some tomato tone fertilizer like a week ago, and it's not really making a difference. So
Early in the season, I've noticed this with squash can happen sometimes. It's like when they're that close to the earth and the ground, it's like whenever they first go to fruit, it's almost like this gray mold, kind of develops on it a little bit, and they'll just prematurely drop off. A lot of times as the summer draws on, it doesn't seem to do that quite as bad.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is just an early season wetness, moisture kind of thing on a young fruit, and it's going to get through that. Hopefully.
one thing I did notice, sorry, Caroline, is that it's in a pot, but the pot is staying moist. So I might be overwatering it.
Could be.
I was going to say that did happen with my squash this year. I had all these little tiny squash that kept coming in and then falling off. But now they're actually like finishing.
Yeah,
good.
I probably had
observed that a lot.
five happen at least. And now I have like 3 good looking squash that I probably need to get out there in the dark when I get home tonight and harvest them, because they're going to get huge over the next few days if I don't.
That's squash for you.
Yeah, it is.
These
It's
are
like
acorn squash.
You see it coming in and then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah.
That's true. And you're right. With the summer, the yellow squash for sure. Yeah, your acorn squash is a little bit slower.
Yeah, but
It
those
is.
yellow squash and zucchinis, oh my gosh.
I just hate seeing those little tiny acorns shrivel up and fall off. It's a shame. Butternut's doing good, but we got way too many butternut plants right now.
I have a lot too.
We're gonna have a bumper butternut year, I think.
Yeah. And they last forever.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I need storage because we don't want butternut squash every meal,
Yeah.
but we do want to whip it out whatever we want the squash.
I don't want it for any meal.
You hate it so
Man.
much. I
I know,
love
we keep
butternut
coming back to
squash.
this.
We do.
That's
It's
a
fine.
That's a bummer nut
You don't like it in anything.
to hear.
Not really.
Why?
I don't like it, man. I don't know.
Do you like sweet potatoes?
Ish.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Cucumbers.
I hate cucumbers with
You
a
hate
passion.
cucumbers. I had cucumbers for lunch today. Well, they were in my lunch today, and Austin was just like, ugh,
Yeah, I was puking.
Caroline.
But Austin likes my feta cucumber dip I have in the work fridge.
That's not bad.
Oh,
That's right.
Hey,
That's not bad. And I do absolutely love dill pickles. Like so much. So I've got a ton of cucumbers coming on. Cucumbers look pretty good. There's a couple plants I was telling you about earlier that are
looking a little
kind of annoying me a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, I've got like 16 cucumber plants going up trellises, so I'm gonna have some cucumbers soon.
Bring them to us.
I will if my kids don't eat them first because they love them.
Hopefully, I'll have
That
a lot.
is okay.
I probably have about 10 cucumber plants or so, maybe more than that.
That's good. It's gonna be a harvesting year.
I need
No
to trellis
cukes
them
this
up.
year for me.
Oh, Tyler.
Aw.
That's okay.
We'll bring you some.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
I mean,
But
I'm not going to eat all mine.
Yeah, exactly. I will say though, this week and just like working in the garden yesterday, so it just brings me back to my roots so much. Like I love it so much. Sitting up last night looking at the porch because I got them all staked up, tied up, pruned up, worked in it. You know, it's just nothing gets you back to the earth like that. I was so proud of myself last night.
You should be.
As I was sitting there.
Yeah,
Well, and I'm sure yours looks very uniformed.
Very to a fault.
Mine's not. Mine's very clean and weed free, but it's the planting is a little more random than yours.
Yeah. I know. We're just different personalities, different gardeners, and all gardeners have different personalities. I
That's
love it.
right.
And yeah, mine's a very uniform garden right now. But man, them 38 tomatoes wore me out.
I bet. You look tired right now.
It's my
Can't
legs.
handle it.
My legs and my butt are so sore. That garden will work you. I mean, my wife even said it. She came out and helped me not too long ago, and she wasn't even in it all that long. Helped me plant corn, and after the next day, she was like, "Why am I so sore?" I'm like, "Because that garden worked you. You didn't work the garden." Mm-hmm.
It worked you.
But vegetable gardening is so fun. It's so rewarding.
Well, and it's just this time of year, it's something different every day.
Yeah.
You know what's fun this time of year? Just plunking some seeds in the ground and seeing what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you don't have to start anything early. You don't have to worry about that. You can just be like, well, bloop, bloop. I'm going to put this here and see what happens. And like, didn't I tell you I sowed some sunflower seeds? Did I tell you guys
No.
Yeah.
that? Okay. I got some of these Mongolian giant sunflowers, and I didn't realize that sunflowers could get this tall. Some of them 12 to 14 feet
Yeah,
tall.
they can get big.
I grew some big ones one year and I had to stake them with like
Yeah.
huge stakes because they got so tall and
But-
heavy.
Yeah, but these aren't the mammoth Russian, which have the giant seed head. These are just like insanely tall with kind of a normal proportional sunflower head. Anyway, so I planted some of them in a front yard bed, some of them right next to my sidewalk, and then some of them in my backyard garden. Well, mysteriously, the ones in the backyard garden have all the heads on every single one. And I planted probably 10 of them gone.
Some just chomped them.
Something chomped them.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But then in the front yard, nothing has affected them. My backyard is fenced in. My front yard wide open to the elements.
Yeah, but them squirrels come down from the trees.
They do.
You
But
think
you
they
know-
would do it?
Well, one thing is that my neighbor's dogs can actually confront the squirrels in the front yard, whereas in the backyard, they wouldn't even see them.
Yeah.
So
Might
I'm
have
wondering
nailed
about
it.
that. But then also I was thinking maybe when the seed's emerging, you know, you see the little seed head and maybe a bird went down and pecked it and ended up pecking the whole thing off.
Did Sarah get mad at you
No.
and chop off all your sunflower tops?
No.
That would be horrible.
No, she would tell me.
She would let you know.
Yeah, but no, I don't think that's it. Because I planted some. She actually was the one who was telling me about it. She was the informant. She was just like, by the way, your sunflowers have been topped.
Man, that sounds like a rabbit.
It does. I had something top 4 tomatoes in one of my raised beds early in the season.
Yes.
Like the week I planted it, they were all just topped.
Okay.
So now they're kind of growing a little bit annoyingly, but
There has been a rabbit sighting.
there's
in my
probably a
backyard.
rabbit. Yeah.
Man, well, that's how
but the
rabbits
front
kind of
yard,
do.
though.
They kind of just walk down the line and keep on eating until they're done with it and then move on. Yeah.
Nothing else has been eaten.
Yeah. I don't
None
know.
of my other
They
plants.
just
like
like
the
those
taste of that,
sunflowers.
man.
That's so crazy.
It's part of it.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, that's what I'm saying. That's the wonder of just what happens.
Yeah.
And the ones that in the front yard will continue to live on because I've got 20 of them.
Gonna be beautiful.
Beautiful.
I'm thinking I'm going to thin and transplant some in the backyard see if they'll survive transplanting. I know they usually don't like that.
They don't want it.
Yeah, but they
They'll
might
probably
just
be
lose their
fine.
lower leaves. I have a little grove of sunflowers that are going to look beautiful
Nice.
when they're all in bloom.
That's awesome.
Let's go ahead and bloom this episode on up. Does that
Let's
make any
do it.
sense?
Yeah,
Bloom it up.
Bloom it up.
I
It's,
think so.
it's time to get into this week's broadcast.
We
And
have-
we were all here.
We had a lot going on.
We did a whole lot going on. So y'all take a listen and enjoy. You'll hear us as well as Josh Carey and David Bates.
What do you got this morning?
I think you just kind of nailed it with the people have kind of already bought most of all their stuff and they're watching it grow. And maybe some new gardeners or even old gardeners are coming in with questions when they have some issues. Okay. It's the kind of time of year for a little bit of issues.
It's
Let's
the
be
question
honest.
season.
It's
Yeah.
the question season, mainly with bugs, mainly with fungus. We've been so wet, as y'all know, and still wet last night. I mean, we had a downpour. I'm actually mad.
What?
Oh,
That's right.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
We're starting with
Yeah.
drama.
starting early with drama.
I'm mad.
All right, why
Walked
are you
out
mad?
this morning because, y'all, I cut back my petunias and fertilized them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I told y'all this, all right?
yes.
They've beefed up, they've swelled up, they look fantastic, and they threw their like big bloom yesterday. Well, kind of the day before yesterday, but they were in full bloom, okay?
And the
Last
rain.
night, it was a downpour, and it was like a hard, heavy rain, Forrest Gump downpour at my house. Yeah, David, you know the reference. It blew in from all ways, and it was heavy rain and all that stuff. So my petunias this morning were laying down mush on the ground.
That's the worst for you.
I mean, the foliage was fine, but the blooms are all wrecked. So I'm mad.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So
That's what you had to
what are you
wake
going
up
to do
to.
about that, Austin?
I
That's
can't
what
do
I want
anything,
to know
David.
because other people may have had the same experience, and you're the man.
Yeah, well-
you're the petunia man for sure.
I definitely, petunia guy for sure.
Are you going to cut them? Are you going to wait? What are you going to do?
I mean, I could at this point just
Don't
deadhead
let
them
'em
probably
dry
with my
out.
fingers. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully they dry out today. But then I'll get home tonight and it's going to rain again. So it's like I think I'm just going to stay mad at them for the day.
I think they'll be okay.
Oh, they'll be fine. They're going to rebloom, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just one of those things. It's like gardening. You're so annoying
Always
sometimes.
something.
Always
Right.
something.
Yes.
But I was glad to get the rain. I mean,
Yes.
our plant life, our flora around town is so beautiful this year, y'all. I mean, we're as lush can be. So let's be thankful for that as gardeners. All right.
It's beautiful right now.
It is.
Yeah, everything is blooming. My pollinator beds are popping, looking great.
Yeah. It's
I
lot
did
of
a
good
little
stuff.
project when I got home before it started raining. It took a while. It wasn't a big project, but I finally cut back a lot of my catmint that was like a big shrub. It had bloomed. There it is. I sent it to Tyler last night.
Wow.
There's the before and after.
Wow.
Tightened it up.
I did. And I'll get another rebloom really, really soon. Yeah, I really cut it back a whole lot. But you can see how big it was. It
Did
was
you prune off like 12 inches or something?
at least. Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half
I
a-
picked it up
half
and
a
it was
bird bath,
it was like
yeah.
half my body length. So yes, about
About
half a bird bath, kind
yeah.
of a full bird bath. I'm like 2 bird baths as far as height goes. So yeah,
Well,
I
good.
got a project done before the rain set
Is
in
that
and
your height?
decimated Austin's petunias.
Is that your
that
height,
back up.
Caroline, or is that the height of whatever you're cutting back?
What, a bird bath?
No, the two bird bath heights you.
I'm
made
about
reference
2 bird
to.
baths, like the tops. Like if you turn them on the side, the tops. We're not talking about like a full bird bath, base and top included.
Yeah, forget the metric system, guys.
Yeah,
So
let's
come
talk
on, man.
bird
bath.
baths.
Well,
But yeah, I got some done before the rain came, and I noticed my apple blossom petunias were looking great. Now I don't know what they look like this morning because I ran out the door real fast.
they're beat down to the earth.
Yes.
Maybe not, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they are.
probably. That rain came down. I couldn't even really see out my window for a minute.
It came down hard where we were at.
Then my power went out. That was exciting.
Fun.
But yeah, that's
Well,
what I got.
Obviously, in every life, a little rain must fall, and so we, despite the chagrin it may bring at times, we have to learn to deal with it, and we're all in it together. So, Josh, I know that rain doesn't affect what you do at all.
No, that didn't. You try to get a lumber package on a job with a forklift in the mud.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
No.
Or get a door truck from the road to the garage door in the mud. I mean, you can't. It's not happy. It's not happy.
Well, So sad.
At least the plants are happy.
That's
they are.
right. Well, speaking of happy plants, we got some happy questions and some not happy questions, but let's go ahead and dive into them, shall we?
We
Hey.
shall.
Okay. We're going to start with an email that we got from Sheila. Sheila says, we have a courtyard with cedar raised beds used for lettuce in the spring and tomatoes, peppers, etc. in the summer. My husband wants to do a late planting in July of beans. Will plants be available then? The courtyard is going through renovation, so it's been delayed things here. Do you have other suggestions for late planting in a small bed?
I think your idea with beans is totally fine. I mean, that's the good thing about beans. They like it hot, and they're a short day crop. And I'm
Get
in this
some
circle
seeds.
again.
Yeah.
Tyler, you think it's so funny?
Tyler, this circle is too much and the pan
Gosh,
over.
he said it's
The
cute.
focus
Is it?
is on you.
Yeah. But anyway, the beans are a short day crop, usually only 50 days or so. So, and you don't have to worry about buying plants. That's the good thing. You're going to start those from seed, y'all.
Absolutely.
They're so easy to grow from seed. I was just talking to you about mine a couple days ago. I started them, and I think I planted like 8 seeds, and I figured like half of them would come up because that seed packet was like 4 years old. They
You
all
got 14
germinated.
plants, yeah.
Yeah. It doubled. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Generally speaking, if you've got an old packet of seeds, and it really doesn't matter what kind of seeds, you only lose about 5% germination per year. It could be as much as 10, but I don't think it's typically more than about 5%. So, don't ever pitch those old seeds. You're going to put them out there, particularly like in beans. I mean, it's the most no-brainer of planting, particularly for a second crop that there is. So proceed.
yes.
And I did, and now I have so many bean plants.
It's been
I've already harvested some, actually.
yeah, and it's been a wonderful green bean season so far. I mean, wonderful.
I'm pulling jalapenos today.
Are you?
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Already?
I've got a lot of cayenne peppers, but I haven't had jalapenos come on yet.
Yep. Oh, it's covered up.
Not yet, but they're looking good. I planted a ton of peppers, and they're all looking great this year. Most of my veggie garden is looking really good. Yeah. So let's stick on the vegetable talk. My cucumber plant isn't thriving despite our wet weather. Tips and tricks. Mine are waiting because it hasn't gotten really hot. They look good, they're
Maybe
just not really
because-
growing.
Yeah, maybe because of the wet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some things are loving it, and then some things get a little too wet, and we get a little something down in the soil, and then you see some
I
stuff
didn't even
on
try
top.
this year.
Really?
They got too bad last year. And they got
Mine were terrible last
awful.
year.
I didn't even try them.
Mine look great this year so far. We'll see.
Oh, mine are cooking. They're looking really
Cooking?
good. Yeah, they're cooking.
Already cooking
We're
them
gonna be
cucumbers.
cooking with them.
Cooking them cukes.
No, they're still real leafy right now. No blooms or anything yet, but they're starting to swell up and look nice. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that can happen with cucumbers. I'd like to see some pictures to see what's going on. But like David said, I mean, it's been wet, and sometimes too wet is too much, and you're seeing signs of that.
Fungus.
If you have soil that doesn't perk particularly well, or you have planted them in maybe a little bit of a low spot, that can exacerbate the issues pretty much. So if you know you've got that kind of situation in the future, you may want to mound them up just slightly to get them up out of that wet feet situation, and that'll help alleviate that to some degree. The hard part is knowing whether it's going to be a wet year or a dry year. So, that's the tough part.
It's hard to know.
So far, it's a wet year.
Yeah.
Austin did mention sending us photos. So if you're wondering how to send those to us, gardeninginsideout@gmail.com is the best place to send it, but you can send it on Facebook, Instagram platforms through our DMs. So we can take a look at those photos and throw them up on the show if you want us to. We've got some great photos coming at you a little bit later in the broadcast. Let's talk one of your favorites, Austin.
Okay.
Dahlias.
Dahlias.
Dahlias. I have 10 different dahlia bulbs. Should
Good.
I plant them in the ground or pots? I have clay dirt.
Yes.
Said good.
This is up to you, though, honestly. I've grown dahlias both in the ground or in pots. They're both fine. The thing about pots is that they get very thirsty as the summer draws on, y'all, and they're dramatic. Okay, so they will wilt heavy, wilt hard, and their root system is really insane. I've noticed, like even in a fairly large container, they'll fill out a whole pot pretty quickly. So if you get them in the ground, now you can amend the soil a little bit if you have heavy clay, amend with some earth mix, come out and get some of that. Amend your soil and get it in the ground. It's going to be a lot easier on you as the summer draws on because they're going to get moisture from the ground typically. But let's go ahead and get those things planted. I want to see pictures of that. 10 different varieties of dahlias. Come on now.
And
better
it's
than
not just a moisture issue, it's a soil temperature issue.
Yes.
So as we get into warmer weather, in particular, the dahlias will react somewhat to just, that soil above the ground in a container, in a pot, is going to be probably 10 to 15 degrees, if not 20 degrees warmer than what's in the ground. So there may be some reaction to that, and those things are kind of hand in glove. They're events that occur together, and if you're dealing with one issue, you're likely are dealing with the other.
You can put a pot in the ground. I've seen people do that.
You know, pot and pot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
I've done
wanting to
that with
bring them
mums
in,
before.
that's an easy way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can just pick them up, bring it in.
A lot easier to find them in the wintertime, too, if you're going to pull, because you have to lift your dahlias.
Yeah.
I've never grown them, but I've seen people do it.
Yeah, you don't have to lift your dahlias, but you have way better success. Like you almost have 100% success if you lift them and bring them in. If you leave them in the ground, then you're just going to see some return and some not return, if any of them return.
Is rot.
Yeah, they can rot. Yeah, there is just
And that's
susceptible to a lot
not
more
an
things.
inexpensive tuber.
No, dahlias are
It's
expensive.
not. I don't grow that one.
Right.
Too fancy for me. Tyler, you grew dahlias, didn't you? And
Yeah.
you kind of had one wouldn't come back each year. Is that right?
50% return rate.
Yeah.
Until there was nothing, because you can't divide one.
Takes a long time to get to there, though, but not with dahlias.
I started with 6, next year 3, next year 1.
And this year, none.
Yeah. And then I overwintered one in a pot for a while.
Oh, well, there you go. So if you do pots, you can overwinter it. Ben Trest, one of our landscape specialists here at the nursery, it's actually his last day.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It is.
Yeah, gonna miss
Thank
him.
you, Ben, for everything you've done all these years. He's a great guy, and we're happy for his future opportunities.
Yes, he will be missed.
Yep.
Love that guy. But he grows dahlias and he always brings them in as soon as they start blooming. And did you see those red ones he brought in this year
Yeah.
with like black dark leaves and then a bright red bloom? He brought them in. He was like, Caroline, there's a dahlia here at the nursery somewhere. And I had to find it. It was in houseplants, just lurking. But yeah, that's a great cut flower, beautiful plant. I don't grow them. Maybe one day I will. Let's talk coneflowers. 2 coneflower plants got aster yellows. I removed them. Will my other plants be doomed? This is a scary one. Ben also got that and lost all of his echinacea, I think, a few years ago.
And is
Yeah.
it a pathogen?
Oh yeah, it's a virus.
Okay.
No, it's one of the most common viruses of those type plants. The coneflowers, specifically echinacea and asters. Aster yellows is the name of the virus, and it is a nasty, disease. And the thing about viruses is they don't go away, and they're not curable
Right.
in the plant world. So what you did is what you had to do, and that's to get rid of the material that you had that had the virus in it. Okay, now you're not necessarily going to see that virus again. It's not a soil-borne pathogen at all. It's spread by an insect. Okay, typically mites, also leaf hoppers can transmit it. Thrips can transmit. There's a lot of things that can vector that virus, is what we call. So if you're fairly pest-free in your garden, you may not see this again. But like I said, you did all you could do, and that's getting rid of the infected plant material. So good
Now,
start
and
there.
when you say pest free, ladies, we're not talking about your husbands.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Although it could apply. I'm not saying that it doesn't.
But it could. I did actually had that issue one year. One of my echinacea in the spring when it woke up, when it shot its first bloom, I did notice it. It looks all I was going to say malfunction, but that's not the word. It's just
Malformed.
malformed. That's it.
Yeah.
The bloom looks
Mutated,
crazy.
yeah.
It's kind of a cool look, but it's not a good look. And it was close to other echinacea. It was in the same bed, but I pulled that up. I threw it away. I got it out of there, and I didn't have an issue. No other plants got it. So I would say there's hope for your other plants.
Oh yeah, and you specifically grow a ton of plants that are susceptible to aster yellows. So
yeah.
I mean, you getting them out of there is the way to go. I mean, even a non-gardener, someone who doesn't know plants at all, could look at an echinacea that has aster yellows and they'd be like, "That looks weird.
What
like,
is
that's
that?"
a funny looking something." So if you see that, you kind of need to take
Now,
care of it.
Would
Done
you
with it.
would you suggest treating any of the plants, like spraying stuff, or just
You can preventatively spray for insects.
like if
'cause-
they already have it?
no. If they've already
Well,
got the
no. I
virus.
mean, after they get rid of those, should they treat their other plants just in case?
For other bugs, potentially. I mean, yeah, if you want to keep it pest free, I don't know, which insect was vectoring that virus, but if you could get rid of those and get them, get it back clean, you may not see that spreading near as much.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a scary thing.
Yep.
Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Earth Mix, featuring Garden Premium Topsoil Blend. This essential mix includes Tennessee subsoil, supernatural organic compost, humic acid, and mycorrhizal fungi to create a truly living soil. Garden topsoil is perfect for establishing raised, edible, and ornamental garden beds, as well as for planting trees, shrubs, and other landscape plants. Bulk and super sack options available. Visit earthmix.net to discover their entire line of soils and amendments and helpful blog posts. Success begins at the ground level when you use EarthMix garden products.
My containers with Earth Mix in it this year are money.
Blowing up.
Every
What
one
else
of them
is money?
What's in bloom? With Austin.
Money blooms.
Money blooms.
No, I don't know. I said that.
Yes.
Caroline had to do the green room yesterday. I was busy being an HVAC guy out here.
You're
It was
doing
great.
great.
Oh, yeah. I was trying my best anyway. But she went with a blue theme this year, so I thought I'd start the
This
list with...
year?
This week? This show. Sorry, this week. She went blue. So let's start with a cute little blue flower that I don't even know if y'all know what it is, but it's cute. You typically start it from seed. Bachelor buttons.
Oh, I'm growing those this
Hey.
year. I love those.
You know, we don't sell those as a perennial or anything, but you throw some seed out, you're probably going to see them return every year. Bachelor buttons, what a cute little plant. Hey, echinacea's going off right now. They are really, really pretty and beautiful. I haven't talked about echinacea this year, but I saw a stand-up on my way in this morning, and I was like, whoo, boy, they're looking good. Daylilies still going off. Asiatic lilies still going off, but they're almost done. They're not the longest bloomer on the planet, but they're really pretty when they are. Shasta daisies blooming white, looking pretty, and verbena right there next to it. Just sprawly, spready. Some perennial, some annual, doesn't matter, but verbena's a very nice little plant. Hey, your elderberry's still huge and annoying. Clematis.
Yes, it is.
Clematis is still going for me. Calla lilies and canna lilies. I saw my first canna this morning. That's usually kind of later, I feel like. But hey, I saw actually, David was at your house over there. I saw one in the yard going off. So hey, your cannas
mine's not
are
yet.
blooming.
Amazing.
It was just one. I just saw one little bloom, but I was like, well, got to feature you. Roses still going off, looking pretty good, but they're starting to get their issues. That's what they do. Butterfly bush. Reesh, hope you're watching because yours is probably blue and beautiful right now. I saw a big one on the way in this morning, looking great. And then, hey, all your hydrangeas, how can we not? The endless summers, all the blues and the pinks, the Annabelles, the panicles are just starting, the oak leaves are finishing. It's just hydrangea season. We all love our hydrangeas. How could you not? They're beautiful. And the endless summer, the ones that like sometimes don't bloom each year, like are blooming this year. They did not suffer a late frost. All the buds cracked nicely. So I'm seeing a lot of blue out there, seeing a lot of pink. It's what we love to see with those style hydrangeas. Love them. And then, hey, let's talk about some trees, y'all.
Yeah.
There's some summertime trees going off. All right. I saw my very first crepe myrtle blooming. Now it's only the white one. I've actually seen 2 or 3, but they've all been white. Have not seen any other colors yet. Besides that first white one, but that's the first start, y'all. Get ready. Be talking about that for 2 months because they're long blooming, all right? Hey, Chinese chestnut. That's a pretty tree. Do y'all even know what it is? It looks like starfish are spraying from the edges of this massive tree, okay? Chinese chestnut is a beautiful, beautiful plant. I think it's worth growing. It's got serrated foliage. It's just an underrated, unknown tree that is really, really pretty this time of year.
It's gorgeous.
And makes chestnuts, so that's kind of cool. Golden rain trees, the yellow ones I talked about. Gosh, you just can't beat it. Compound leaves, fast growing, not a crazy big tree, and it blooms yellow. I can't say enough. Love those. Okay, sweet bay magnolia, tiny little white blooms, but smelling fantastic. They'll knock you down. And then our southern magnolia. Hey, talked about it last week, but that's still blooming and gonna be for a while. And then let's talk about the goat, maybe even the anti-goat.
Yep.
I don't know, but it's fantastic. It's beautiful. Some of y'all will disagree, and I'm okay though. This is a platform where we can disagree if we want. But one of my favorite flowering trees on the planet that is popping off right now is your mimosa.
Oh.
Hey, there it is.
The surest
And I
sign
can-
of
Wow.
summer.
Yep, and I can hear it
Absolutely.
now. That's invasive. It's gross. It's not good, but it's like, it's invasive. Yeah, I'll give you that. I was looking it up last night just to kind of, go through some stuff. And it was like one of the things that Missouri Botanical Garden said is that it's escaped cultivation. And I think that's just a funny way of saying it's invasive. Okay. And it is a little invasive, y'all, but it's not like bush honeysuckle. It's not like privet. Like it's not that invasive, but it is beautiful. Some people call it silk tree. Some people call it umbrella tree. And that's because of its growth habit. Very upright and very sprawly, open that way. And it'll cover this perfect little canopy that's got beautiful pink pom-pom blooms atop of it that birds and butterflies.
Josh is over there. Do it again, Josh.
Josh is he's spraying it for me. He gets
Yeah,
it.
buddy.
He
Yeah.
talked
And,
about
one of the things that kind of controls them is this crown gall
Yes.
light that can get in there.
And wind.
I was about to say, it's not like the longest lived tree on the planet. It has
No,
some weak
it's
woods.
minimally invasive.
That's the way I feel. And if it's going to be minimally invasive, but as beautiful as it is, I'm like, I'm all about it. I'm taking it. I love it. Look, butterflies, bees cannot get enough of this bloom. I mean, they are all over it. The blooms smell great. It's a compound leaf, which is cool. It's the fastest growing tree I think I've ever seen. I'm not even joking. Like, you start with a tiny one, it is insane how fast it grows. So I'm sorry. It's a little invasive, but it's beautiful, and I'm taking that. Mimosa, the GOAT. Thank y'all for that.
Don't apologize. I love that tree.
I like them too, but if you lose half of it, get rid of the other side, folks. I mean, they are not pretty when they have been damaged.
Josh, what a great point. Like, if you lose half of it, don't try to get it back into shape again. Look, lop it off pretty much at the base of the plant, and it is right back, y'all. I'm telling you, that's how it works. So just restart.
Just cut it. I have one in my front yard. It was actually a weeping chocolate mimosa that a few Bates folks got for me for my birthday one year. Well, it died back to the graft in the winter of 2022. So now it's just like a straight species. But I give it like a hard cut about to here every winter. So it just keeps it short and in check. And it's kind of a cool looking tree now.
It looks like a mimosa bush.
It's got a thick trunk, and then it's got this little umbrella, very short up top.
If you clean up around the bottom of it, it doesn't spread near as bad.
Oh, I got one in the yard. I just mow around it.
Yep.
I mean, you're just taking care of it. It's kind of like sumac. Like, I got a stand of sumac in the yard. If I don't mow for 2 weeks, I got sumac this big
Oh, that
in the
plant
yard.
is crazy. I don't like that one.
I'm not huge on. I'm pretty sure sumac is the only plant that I can really think of that's native to all 50 states. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Wow.
I may have just made that up, but I don't think I did. That's in my brain somewhere.
I will say that it's much more invasive than mimosa is.
I think it is, but we call it native, so it's okay.
It's a native, so
It's
that makes it
not
okay.
a Bradford pear, people. No.
No, that one is the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have one mimosa on my property other than the one in my front yard, but one that was just already there when I bought my house. And it's still the only one on the back of my property. It has not
That's what I'm saying.
come up from seed anywhere else. The one, sumac, everywhere. Like, I have to keep mowing it down. It just, and it grows so fast. It just like shoots up this one stalk and then just like a few little leaves up top, and it just keeps getting bigger and growing faster.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
It's a wild one. Speaking
Talk
of
to us,
wild,
YouTube.
bagworms.
We see you out there. Happy, we see you out there, but nobody's commenting on YouTube this morning. So
They might be a little sleepy.
Yeah,
It's
a
been
little
rainy.
sleepy. Okay.
Y'all comment and let us know what you think about mimosa trees.
Yes.
How about that? Joyce, I
Joyce,
see
I'm
you.
sure you got something to say.
Yeah,
Jane.
Joyce has been very quiet.
Joyce, wake up, man.
Yeah. Get you some more coffee, Joyce. All right, bagworms. What can I do about bagworms?
Okay, it's a very timely question.
Yes.
And I know Austin will back me up on this. We're coming up on Father's Day. This is the date you need to remember
It's next
for
Sunday, folks.
bagworms, because if you're going to spray them, it's really your last most effective opportunity. Unfortunately, with bagworms, you don't have the. It really doesn't work using mild organic type of sprays. You got to use something that's got a little more chemical value to it. But if you do it at the right time, you don't have to use a high concentration, and you can do that where the little crawlers, when they come out of the bag, and Father's Day is the time when they have just done that, you'll spray the entire tree and the others that are surrounding it that are also susceptible.
Yep.
It's mainly conifers. Cedars, spruce, junipers, all that kind of thing are really susceptible to them. If you'll spray, you first of all look close for old bags on there.
Yes.
Those bags don't have mature bagworms in them. They have these little crawlers that are coming out right now and coming out in the coming week. So spray them then, and then they're easy to control. If you could just mark it on your calendar. There's something else that, Josh, we need to remember as dads is that spray for bagworms.
Yes.
And it's very effective, very easy to control. And we had one green giant arborvitae that somehow we got past me. I went for a couple of weeks and lost track of it, and the whole top got killed out of it. Now it's growing back out. We were able to spray it and get it under control. But it is a nemesis here in the Mid-South. We do have to be mindful of it. We have this huge amount of what we call cedar trees. They're actually Juniperus virginiana. They
Sure
are an upright juniper.
Mhm.
They are that is the prime target for them. And because we like other conifers, they get it as well. So what did I miss, Austin? Did I miss
think
something?
you pretty much covered that. I mean, you're right, and we're not immune to the pests either, y'all. Like David just said, we had to emergency spray one last year,
Yes.
or we were going to lose that tree. I mean, there was probably 1,000 of them on there. I mean,
Well,
really,
at least.
yeah.
Great dad activity. If you've got a little small tree that's got you start to see the bagworms on from last year in particular, get the kids out there and put a penny per bag bounty on them. They'll have a big time.
yeah, yep.
Squeeze them.
Ew.
Yeah.
But
They're
that needs to
so
happen
gross.
earlier than
Yes,
this day.
yeah,
because
you need
the
to go.
callers are,
And
need
you
to
don't
be
spray
doing
them.
that like-
Don't spray them with the kids around. Let the kid.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't spray it on the kids either.
If I remember correctly, just speaking of Father's Day, I feel like my dad used to shoot stuff into the trees to get them down. And I think it
Systemic?
included fire. So
Yeah.
there's that. Happy Father's Day, everyone.
No, I'm not sure what he was
Austin,
doing.
is there a good
Inoculation.
systemic that works on bagworms? I don't know that there really is.
Yeah, I mean, acephate is probably the one that we sell here. That would probably be your best systemic control for that, and that's going to be a soil drench. That smells awful, so just get ready for
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
But
gosh.
what we use, David, I
terrible.
think we use permethrin. I think which permethrin's a very effective insecticide. That's really guys. We obviously do not love to spray around here. We want to not have to ever spray, but sometimes things happen, and when bagworms get that bad, we tend to have to. The good thing about the conifers and the evergreens is that bees are not active around those, so you just spray on. If you have them close to flowering plants, like be careful to not get some drift on your other flowering plants where bees are active. But you don't have to feel so bad about yourself spraying a conifer whenever we're not really affecting bees. We're really targeting that insect that is messing with our investment. Plants are expensive now, and especially screens that we want are giving us what we want. And that costs money. So
And the other thing is that most of these problems can be prevented by careful observation. And I know that's something that you spend a lot of time just walking around. Now, you don't have to turn leaves over like you do on broadleaf plants on conifers. They're very easy to see.
They look
but
like Christmas
Here's a little
ornaments, yeah.
trick that I have found that works for spotting the bagworms. You think you've gotten them all,
Nope.
and then turn your head over like upside down or sideways and look at it, and they'll appear magically. I don't know how that works, but somehow you're seeing them in a different axes or whatever, and they become more visible. So when you think you've gotten them all, I promise you have not, particularly if you've got a heavy infestation.
They're so gross. I've even had them on cactus outside
Oh,
before.
I've had them on brick walls.
cactus, yeah.
Yeah, they'll spill off of conifers onto whatever is around them, and I've seen them on broadleaf, on hollies and that kind of thing. They're not attracted to them, but they're not repulsed by them either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one time I was pushing a cart out here, and there was a bagworm hanging from it. I'm like, what do? You just catching a ride to another
And he's moving
plant.
on.
Yeah.
You can't get Daconil anymore either, can you? Has Daconil been taken off the market?
No, you can still get Daconil, I think, but that's a fungicide. I mean, that's
Is it?
more for that's
Okay.
a fungicide, but it's still out there. We don't sell it, but it's still out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff out there. Speaking of out there, comments about mimosa trees.
Yeah, buddy.
Uh-oh.
So a lot of people are team mimosa, but Jane Ann Gibbs on YouTube says about mimosas, like Mama says, if you can't say anything nice, ...
That's right, Jane.
Joyce
Thank
has
you.
been awake since 5 a.m.
Oh,
really? Joyce,
Way to
you are
go,
awake.
Joyce. Up bright and early.
Way to
And
go,
Teresa
Joyce.
says, I love mimosa trees here in Oklahoma. I also love the liquid mimosa. And Joyce says, liquid mimosas are the best.
Y'all get out, walk your garden, get your mimosa going,
Get your mimosa.
and
get
look
on
at the
out
pretty
there.
mimosas that are around.
Yep. All right. We got a live question from Mikey, who we haven't heard from in a minute. Good
Hey,
morning,
Mikey.
Mikey. Mikey says, I have a Norfolk Island pine as a houseplant in the wintertime. Now I like to bring it outside for the growing season. What kind of fertilizer should I use and how often should I fertilize it? This is one of my favorite houseplants, actually. And sadly, you can really only get it around the holiday season, which is very unfortunate. So I try to order a lot here to keep them in stock, but now we're sold out. You can just use a general houseplant fertilizer. That'll be great for it. And they're not heavy feeders, so I would probably just fertilize it like once a month or once every 3 weeks throughout the growing season before you bring it back inside. but it'll be happy out there. Make sure you don't stick it into direct sunlight like we talk about all the time. If it is going to get into a lot of direct sunlight, just slowly acclimate it into that so it doesn't burn its pretty little leaves, because that one will burn like immediately and it will kill off all that top growth if it does get burned. I've done
And
it
I think
before.
what may confuse people is that they'll see them in the tropics growing in full sun, and they love full sun, but not once they've acclimatized themselves to lower light conditions. So, like you say, Caroline, it's about taking that slow steps to get them adjusted to it, and they can adjust, but not all in one step. It takes moving them from inside the house to mottled shade to a little more sun, and then you can get them eventually out into it. Just feeling of the foliage will tell you if it's really soft and pliable. It's very much adapted to low light conditions, and as it begins to get more adapted, they become decidedly more stiff and a little tougher. So you can tell just by feeling of it, and not just by looking.
Yes, you can. It's a great plant. I had mine as a low light house plant for years, and it did fantastic.
Grew.
My problem was I stuck it out to get rain. The sun came out, burned it, and it died. It was so sad. So sad. All right, we got a live question from Teresa. Japanese maples, is over potting harmful? Can I prune before they go dormant? Got a rehab plant and it needs some shaping and new soil pot help.
Okay, well, if it needs a new soil in a pot, we need to go ahead and get that going. Come out, find a pot, get you some soil for it, and let's repot it. Repotting is not hard, and it's fine. The maples totally love being in pots. We have plenty of guests that have a lot of maples in pots. So Sam Boyette's one of those. Hey, Sam, hope you're watching. I hope all your maples are doing well in your pots, but he has like 20-something maples in pots. So potted maples are totally fine. Now, can you do pruning before dormancy? You certainly can. We don't really recommend this for shaping purposes. The reason I say that is because it's easy to shape a Japanese maple whenever you can see every limb and every stem, and you can see which ones you want to cut, which ones you don't want to cut. And whenever a plant has a ton of leaves on it, it's kind of hard to see that for shaping. Now, if you have a limb that's coming out that's like whacking you every time you walk by it or something, you can take that limb off. Yeah, you could do some light pruning on that. But like I said, if you could wait until dormancy, it's going to be easier for you to shape into like a cool little tree, Some say there ain't no cure for the summertime blues, but we say Bates Nursery is. Located in Nashville, Tennessee, Bates Nursery and Garden Center is a separate world unto itself. They feature the widest variety of plants, including trees, shrubs, native plants, perennials, houseplants, and specimen evergreens. Their knowledgeable staff will assist you with any gardening needs, catering to any experience level. Open year-round, and Caroline, tell them how to get here.
Bates Nursery is located minutes from downtown Nashville off Briley Parkway, exit 19 in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. You'll see it's worth the drive from anywhere. No time to visit the nursery? Shop online with delivery and pickup options available for the greater Middle Tennessee area at www.batesnursery.com.
So if you want to learn a lot about living and a little about love, visit Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
So we're going to go back around to our bagworms because Joyce has a question. Is there a natural predator for bagworms?
3-year-olds.
Birds won't eat?
That's a good point. I don't even think birds really will. Joyce,
They're
I don't
too
think
gross
so.
for anything.
Well, the bag is so dense. They use leftover plant material, but then inside of that is almost like this, they spin like a webby kind of cottony thing. If you've ever tried to open one up, they're really hard to open.
You can't tear it.
You can't
Almost
barely tear it.
impossible.
Yeah, so I don't know of any natural predators for bagworms. I really don't. You would think birds, but they're not even going after them. So
So they're a
Kids
little
and
too
dads.
high in fiber for most birds. That husk on the outer, when they collect all of the, whatever the host is that they're on, they're collecting that foliage and attaching it into the webbing. So I wish there was a way to do control on those that was more easy and more beneficial, but they're tough.
There was, and I said Daconil because I think I've still got a bottle up in the shed. That there
You
was
can spray it, but it won't do anything.
No. But I had the name wrong. But there was a very effective chemical that used to be available that got restricted use. I think you can still get it, but you have to be like a specialist to go to the education and stuff.
imidacloprid, maybe.
No, it was a liquid.
It could be. That's another systemic. That's the most stout you could ever spray, pretty much.
In the whole world. Hey, Risha's saying set them on fire.
Rish.
Back around to the
Be
fire with
like
them.
Caroline's dad.
Set them
But
all on
only
fire.
after
Burn
you
them
have
to the
picked
ground.
They make a significant.
Don't do
snap
them on
when
the
you do
plant.
that. Yeah.
Don't burn them on the plant.
No, don't burn them on the plant.
I could be remembering that wrong. I was little. And I remember thinking it was so cool. It's like you're shooting fire into a tree. They might have just been doing something fun.
They will pop
Let
like
us know, Dad.
popcorn.
They
but
do.
Oh, that's gross. All right, let's get back to some more questions. Best location for gardenia, and will it survive in Tennessee? I will say good luck.
There are hardier gardenias. We've talked about this, okay? But gardenia rarely to never stays purely evergreen through our winters here, okay? You're going to see some damage. I've not ever seen one that didn't have damage or just straight up died over the winter, okay? So we need them. The site selection on this is going to be a good, nice, sunny spot that's protected typically from like intense afternoon sun, but honestly can acclimate to a full sun environment, but in a warm spot, not anywhere that's like high winds or gets cold or whatever. Like we want it protected, maybe in a brick wall scenario, you know, and that'll be your best bet.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, we just that's where we want them, and in almost always in the spring, you got to give them a cut back because there's going to be damage. Now, if you cut back, are they going to, if they're alive, are they going to recrack and form and then rebloom in the summer? Yes, they actually will. So, doing a few things and not expecting perfection with gardenia is the first step with gardenia, but it can be done.
Yeah, and I would recommend since we know all this about gardenias and we're not trying to, it's not reasonable to expect that they're going to survive regularly without some kind of protection, is build you some kind of an enclosure. Maybe it's a big box type thing that's covered, and cut your plant back at in December every year. That would allow this enclosure to be set over the top of it, and then just enclose it for the winter and know that it's got to come off in the spring and then it'll grow back out, and you'll provide enough protection for it that way to give it a chance to be able to survive. That's the most reliable way. And if it stayed out and it lived, you're going to have to cut it back anyway. So you don't lose anything other than just that year's growth. They're also the most temperamental of plants. If to any change in conditions, now that's more applies to when they are used as a house plant. If you go from sun to shade to dry to moist, or they just react to everything. So
you ain't lying.
Yes,
They're more dramatic than me.
And that's saying
Saying something. That's saying something.
Saying a whole
I
lot.
said it, gardenia. You drama queen.
A match made in heaven right there.
Yeah.
You need to take some gardenia home and plant it.
There you
No, the world might burn down. We've talked a lot about fire, and this next question mentions it. Euonymus scale is covering all of my plants. Any hope or straight to the fire?
Euonymus scale is nasty, and it's specific to euonymus. Little bitty white dots is what it looks like pretty much all over the plant. Can it be treated and dealt with? Yeah, it's annoying. Like David was saying with bagworms, you think you got them all, and then you don't. Okay, so heavy pruning to get rid of, say, 90 to 95% of those insects is crucial. So don't just necessarily dig up your plant and burn it. I mean, at least cut it first. A happy, healthy euonymus, even if you cut it at the dirt, is going to grow back. So, I mean, I'm thinking we prune heavy first, and then we get a spray going to kind of get rid of the leftovers, and then watch it regrow. I mean, it's euonymus. Let's be honest.
Clean
Yeah,
up
it will
around.
keep
Clean up very well when after you prune too.
and if you're going to cut it back that heavily, the use of a paraffinic oil is probably not going to be a bad choice, because you're not really going to be burning anything, and it's going to grow back out. And that's a very benign, as far as to the applicator type of control you can use. But it's only in that specific application. If you start using paraffinic oil when the weather is hot, you can burn foliage or whatever. But if you've got it on euonymus and you're going to do like Austin's talking about, cut it back heavily and then spray it with that what was known as dormant oil. You could try a superfine sun spray oil. It's a little less effective because it's not thick. But if you really want to coat them up good, the oil just suffocates them. That's how it works.
Yep.
Hey, we're getting some questions and comments in on our social media platforms. Janet is saying, FYI, Hosta Silly String just won a Fancy Chelsea Flower Show Award.
Oh, isn't that
darling.
It's so
Goodness
cute.
gracious.
Another reason for me to bring one home. Michigan hybridizer Hans Hansen, great work. So
What a
good,
name.
good
Yeah.
work, Hans, or Hans, however you want to say
Hans
it.
Hansen.
And then Donna says, "I feel your pain with the rain beat down, Austin. My Annabelles took a beating.
Oh
last
no, not
night."
Annabelle.
That's
Not
very
the
sad.
Annabelles. That's the true worst. Like, that's worse than my petunias. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Seriously, Donna, I'm sorry, because that is no fun. My Incrediballs were not floppy on most of the plant, but a few little side stems that were getting hit by the gutter thing coming down.
Yeah.
They were flopped a little bit. But I was nervous about this. I was thinking about it on my way in. The Annabelles, I didn't see too many around here that were flopped horrible, but Donna, I feel your pain.
We're so sorry.
Nothing worse than floppy Annabelles.
Hey, Josh, were you saying something?
Yeah, Carol is saying chickadees, woodpeckers, nuthatches, sparrows, and titmice can eliminate bagworms. But you got to convince them of it. I've never seen that. I don't see that. Carol,
I wouldn't rely on them
No.
solely.
No. Hey, David.
Hey, Josh.
The nosy girl from down the hallway from WTN's watching us this morning. Hi, Pam. How you doing?
Hey, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
That's what they called her, the nosy girl from down the hallway.
Well, there's always one of those.
Great news report. Oh,
Well, she just wants to be informed, Josh, and obviously she is.
She has great
thanks
taste.
for tuning in, and to everyone who tuned in today. You know, we've had a lively broadcast, a lot of questions, and we're here every week. So
Yep.
make sure you tune in. Anytime it's rebroadcast on YouTube, so check it out there. And
yep.
what's your closing thoughts, Josh?
Well, another comment to Deborah on YouTube. Hey, read the label on that Bio Advanced Systemic 12-month. See if it's listed for bagworms. Okay.
I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah, so.
If it's a 12-month
no matter
thing,
what
I've heard
you're
it is.
using, for whatever reason, always read the label.
Yeah, always. Hey, folks, music means we're done. But for everybody here at Gardening Inside Out, join us. Look at all the social media platforms. Subscribe, like, share, do everything you can. And we'll see you next Saturday morning right here from the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.